I am 78 years old, and I know now, in a way I didn't when I was younger, how heavy 10 years can be when they're gone. The mornings are quiet, too quiet. The house makes small sounds that feel louder than they should. I thought there would be more time. In my 20s, I was hungry way I didn't recognize as hunger. When my wife asked if I'd be back for dinner, I said, not tonight, but soon. Later was always just ahead of me, like a place I could see but never quite reach. There were evenings when my son would already be asleep when I got home. For a long time, I lived like time was something that kept refilling itself.
I am 78 years old, and I know now, in the way I didn't when I was younger, how heavy 10 years can be when they're gone. I wake up earlier than I used to, not because I want to, but because sleep doesn't hold me like it once did. The mornings are quiet, too quiet. The house makes small sounds that feel louder than they should, pipes clicking, the refrigerator humming, my own breathing a little rough around the edges. Time feels different now, not faster exactly, just thinner, like there's less of it in each day, and I'm careful how I spend what's left. That wasn't always true. For a long time, I lived like time was something that kept refilling itself. I didn't think I was careless. I thought I was responsible. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. That's the strange part. The mistake didn't look like a mistake while I was making it. I thought there would be more time. That's really it. That's the whole thing, if I'm being honest. In my 20s, I was hungry in a way I didn't recognize as hunger. I told myself it was ambition. I wanted to be solid, reliable. I wanted to be someone people respected. I watched my father struggle, watched the way worry sat in his shoulders, and I promised myself I wouldn't live like that. So I worked. I stayed late. I said yes more than I said no. It felt adult. It felt noble. When friends went home early, I stayed. When my wife asked if I'd be back for dinner, I said, not tonight, but soon. I said that word a lot. Soon. I didn't feel like I was choosing work over people. I felt like I was choosing people's future. I told myself I was building something that would make everything easier later. Later was always just ahead of me, like a place I could see but never quite reach. In my 30s, life filled up quickly. A house, a child, responsibilities stacked on top of each other until they felt permanent. I was tired, but I wore it like a badge. Being tired meant I was doing something right. There were evenings when my son would already be asleep when I got home. I'd stand in the doorway of his room for a moment, watching his chest rise and fall. I told myself I'd make it up to him on the weekend. Weekends came and went. There was always something that needed doing. My wife didn't complain much. That's something that still hurts to think about. If she had yelled or made demands, maybe I would have noticed sooner. But she was patient, quiet. She carried things without setting them down. I mistook her patience for understanding. Little things started slipping away. I missed birthdays, not entirely, just parts of them. I was there, but distracted, my mind half somewhere else. I answered questions with my eyes on the clock. Conversations became shorter, then fewer. I didn't feel the loss when it was happening. That's another cruel part of it. The damage was slow and gentle, like erosion. No single moment felt important enough to stop everything. In my 40s, the years I lost started to form, though I couldn't see their shape yet. My career was stable. People trusted me. I was good at what I did. On paper, things looked right. Inside, there was a quiet tiredness I couldn't explain. Not physical, something deeper. I told myself it was just the cost of being responsible. My son stopped asking me to come to things. That didn't happen all at once. He'd mention a game or school event casually, like it didn't matter if I came or not. I didn't notice the shift until much later. My wife and I talked more about logistics than feelings. Groceries, bills, schedules. We functioned well together. Too well. Like co-workers who knew their roles. Sometimes she'd look at me like she wanted to say something, then decide not to. I wish now that I'd asked her to say it anyway. I kept telling myself there would be a moment when things slowed down, when I could finally be present, when the work would ease and I could turn back toward the people I loved with both hands free. I didn't realize I was already spending the time I thought I was saving. The turning point didn't come with drama, no big argument, no sudden collapse, just a phone call on an ordinary afternoon. My wife had been feeling tired for a while. We both brushed it off. Life does that to you, we said. Tests were ordered, then more tests, then words spoken carefully, like they might break something if they were said too fast. She sat across from me at the kitchen table when we got home, the same table where we'd eaten for decades. She held her hands together. She looked smaller than I remembered. That was the first time I felt real fear, not the abstract kind, the kind that settles in your body and doesn't leave. I took time off then. I thought that would fix it. I was there for the appointments, the treatments, the quiet nights when sleep didn't come. But presence has a shape, and mine was unfamiliar. I didn't know how to talk the way I should have. I didn't know how to reach across the years we'd put between us. She died 2 years later. I stood by her bed and realized something that still sits heavy in my chest. I'd loved her my whole life, but I hadn't always lived like it. Love, it turns out, isn't stored up. You can't save it for later. After she was gone, the house changed. Not physically, something else. The air felt different. Mornings were lonelier. Evenings stretched too long. My son came by more often at first. He was kind, gentle, but there was a distance we didn't know how to close. We loved each other, but we didn't have the habit of being close. 10 years. That's what it cost me. Not in one block, but scattered. A missed game here, a quiet dinner there, conversations not had when hands could have been held. I don't beat myself up the way I used to. That took time. I see now that I wasn't cruel or careless. I was mistaken. I believed something that wasn't true. I believed time was patient. What can't be fixed now is simple and enormous at the same time. I can't go back into those evenings. I can't sit on the floor with my son while he tells me things that mattered to him then. I can't ask my wife what she was holding inside all those years. Those moments are gone. Not lost. Used up. There are still good things in my life. I want to say that clearly. I'm grateful for the years I had, for the love that was there even when I didn't show it well. Gratitude and sorrow live side by side now. They don't cancel each other out. If you're listening to this, I won't tell you what to do. I don't believe in that anymore. I'll just tell you what I know. The days you think you're postponing are the days you're spending. The people who wait quietly may not wait forever. And being needed isn't the same as being present. I thought my mistake was working too hard. It wasn't. It was assuming there would be time later to repair what I was neglecting now. There's a quiet acceptance that comes with age. Not peace exactly, just clarity. I live with what I chose. I try to be gentle with myself. I try to be honest. If this meant something to you, hold it gently. You don't need to fix your whole life. Just notice it. That's all I have left to offer. And now, when the house goes quiet in the morning, I sit with it. I don't rush away anymore. I stay.